Greetings. Buenos dias. Bonjour. O genki desu ka? Ni hao ma? Good morning. Namaste. Namaskaram. The human spirit is now rising in the world, awakening, a great awakening. There is a mass movement of those who are leaving the third dimensional construct, the digital matrix, unplugging themselves from the matrix, as it were, an awakening to the nature of reality, of this disreality, irreality, non-reality. Essentially awakening to the nature of the situation that the Hindus so long ago in their spiritual technology had all this figured out, known by Maya, Saṃsara, but we can agree and call it the phenomenal plane, if you will. The plane, the dimension of physical reality. So there's a nature that we're aware of, and many people are unplugging themselves from this fake reality, this digital matrix, and thus the ruling elite are in a panic. They're in panic mode, and they recognize that they cannot much longer keep the tide from turning against them, that there are mass arrests, there will be mass arrests for genocide and other crimes against humanity. Because of this, they have to divert attention very quickly, very quickly. And since they cannot prevent their own populations from rising against them in the West, they will use Russian missiles to do it for them and Chinese weapons of mass destruction. And it's for this reason, for playing this last card, that they have built massive underground cities with stockpiles of food, and they're beginning to move into this next phase in which there will be massive destruction by other means than is currently happening. And this acceleration of events will have many implications, because when the war goes kinetic, it will happen in space, will happen underwater, under the ground, and it will destroy everything in most parts of the world. Because the war will take place in cyberspace as well, it will cut communications, and it will disrupt every system, and it will stop the import of fuel and food and other supplies. So the reverberations and the effects of this will strike everywhere. And we must be prepared. We must be prepared spiritually, psychologically, as well as in terms of our physical preparations. The world is made of vibrational frequencies, and that's what I've been trying to communicate to all of you, is to raise your frequencies, to elevate your consciousness. That's what it's all about, folks. Everything in this phenomenal plane, this third dimensional hologram, is apparently its separate thing, but it's simply a manifestation of the same vibrational energy. And that energy exists at different levels and of different qualities, from the spiritual to the psychological to the pranic. And when I say pranic, that is the Hindu word for energy, for the subtle energy, life energy, the electromagnetic to the sonic. All of these different forms of vibration are having effects on the world. But the most important effect comes from the vibration of pure spirit. And it is that pure spirit that will morph the way the world appears, and not radioactivity and not the vibrations of EMFs, and it will be the vibrations of pure spirit that prevail. that determine the conditions of life. And if we are attuned to that vibration that is immune to the effects of the lower level of vibrations, there will be safety. But if we fall into identification with matter, with the 3D hologram, then our consciousness will be affected by the material level of vibrational frequency. So it is very important now to establish your consciousness in the state that is transcendent of all the lower vibrational fields. And folks, that's why you should subscribe to the Umbanda BitChute channel, subscribe to the Mark McGuire Umbanda YouTube channel, and continue this journey of raising the frequency and raising the roof on spiritual consciousness, and thus prolonging our lives into the new earth and the fifth dimension and beyond. Namaste, namaskaram.